Learning sales is the foundation for everything you do. Mark my words. I can't think of, if you want to raise capital for your business, you need to know sales. If you just want to attract better people to work with you, that's sales. Sales applies in your social life. It doesn't have to be cheesy sales. It doesn't have to be pushy sales. The art of sales is really to get your point across in a way that people understand. You're not trying to sell everybody. Just like I'm not trying to sell everybody who watches this video. That's not what sales means. Sales is misunderstood. And for that reason, it's not learned. You know, it's misunderstood. But when you understand what sales is that in a loud and noisy world where the average person sees thousands of ads every day, how do you get people to pay attention to what you're saying? How do you say it in a persuasive way? See, persuasion and sales go hand in hand, right? And so for me, I don't want everybody to buy into what I'm doing. It's kind of like going on a date. You meet somebody off wherever you meet them, Tinder or whatever. You don't want to convince everybody to date you or marry you. Like, that would be a bad life, right? I've been on some bad dates. In fact, in that case, you want to sell them on the fact that, like, we could be friends. Different book I read, which pertains to this. What do you think created the most billionaires, not millionaires? It's not what you think. It's not a tech startup that's funded out of San Francisco, Silicon Valley. It's not, a solar company. It's not sports. It's not even real estate. It's a book. In this book, these accountants, I try to read it every couple years, but I was just flipping through it. And these accountants found, as they went through the 100 self-made wealthiest people in history, or in modern history, and guess what they found? Sales, 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 sales. Knowing how to sell. 60 to 70% of self-made billionaires started in sales. McDonald's, Ray A. Kroc, before he started McDonald's, he was selling milkshakes door to door or restaurant to restaurant. You know, that's sales. Bill Gates, if you read his story before he started Microsoft or when he started Microsoft, he was on the phone. He used to change his voice because he was only 16 years old. So he would talk deep like, hello, yes, this is Mr. Gates here. That was the foundation of, he then became the richest man in the world for 17 years, built upon sales. Mark Cuban, if you see that, when he came over to my house a few years ago, I asked him, I said, what'd you start? He said, door-to-door sales. I started in phone sales and door-to-door sales. Now, I'm not on Bill Gates level, but I've seen it in my life. You know, you look out here, this is New York City, this is Manhattan. They call this right here Billionaires Row. It's where I live in Manhattan when I'm in Manhattan. And if you went and surveyed, obviously I haven't gone to all my neighbors, that place right there sold for $250 million. One flat, one condo. And so you got to ask yourself, why didn't you learn psychology? Psychology is the basis of sales. Now, I'm not talking about the psychology they taught us in school. The psychology we learn in school is more academic. It's more historical. What year was Sigmund Freud and things like this? What's the difference between, psychoanalysis and cognitive therapy? But that's not the sales you need in day to day. You need to learn how to read people. And years ago, I built a sales program that was very advanced for my salespeople. I've had different companies. Every company is a sales team. And so we launched that in 2014. It's one of the first things I did before 67 Steps. And I still have it. It's just priced very expensive. So recently people asked me, Ty, can you make a sales training course that is not as intense, And so I decided here 5 years later that I would launch this sales program. So I'm gonna put a link, click this link below. Click this big link below. I'm gonna make a test group of people. I've been doing test groups. I like test groups. You let in a group of concentrated people, they're interested, they get in, and you see the results, and then we can tweak them. So click the link below. Click the link below if you wanna get in the test group. You have less than 7 days.